Alright, so I was just filming another part of this video. Oh my god. Hey everybody, look how nice that looks now. Blurry and gross, clear. Blurry and gross, clear. So, some of you might be wondering why I have these racquetball goggles. I think that's what they are. They're either that or they're onion goggles. I can't remember which one they are. I either used them for cutting onions or I used them for airsoft. One of those two things, I can't remember. But these are a prop for the story that I'm about to tell today. And they're a prop because they're the only pair of goggles that I own. So, first of all, I just want to say, hold on, I gotta take these off because I can't even see you guys. First of all, I just wanted to say thank you. I have gotten about 100 views on my last two videos, and that they have just been performing just extremely well. I've been really happy with the support you guys have given me. I've been really happy with the response to my videos. I loved hearing all your ghost stories, and a lot of you came to me with my last video and said, I had no idea that was your dog. So if you haven't seen those videos, go back and check them out. They're pretty awesome. So this time, not a scary story, not a, reflective story. This is actually a true story. It's a memory of high school for me. I went to school with this one kid. And honestly, didn't we all go to school with that one kid? And I've told this story so many times, and I'm finally sitting down and I'm finally recording it so I can share this story with more than just a couple of people at a time. So when I was in high school, I met this kid in my driver's ed class. And it became very apparent right away that this kid was just, he was your typical stoner kid. So in my driver's ed class, we actually had a parking lot that was next to the school that had like a little range track on it, so we could practice things like merging and parallel parking and basically just, changing lanes and everything driver's ed related. We ended up going out to the range, and a lot of times I got put in the same car as this kid. Well, oftentimes he was stoned. And so yeah, that got a little bit interesting when we were doing behind the wheels. Thankfully, nothing bad ever happened. It was more funny than it was scary. He was actually a pretty good driver, even high, but there were definitely some moments that were a little bit frightening. So, this kid, like I said, we all went to school with one of them. He was suspended for 14 days because the drug sniffing dogs that they let in the school sometimes, not while we were there, but like before school or whatever, found a marijuana pipe in his locker. So he was suspended for 14 days. And those were very boring 14 days in the classes that I shared with him because he wasn't there to make us laugh. And speaking of these, one day, our driver's ed instructor decides, hey, I'm going to bring a pair of drunk goggles in, and I want you guys to see how well you can walk with these drunk goggles on. So I immediately volunteer because I'm like, this sounds awesome. So I put the goggles on, and these are way too small for my fursuit, but I put the goggles on, and when I try to walk down the masking tape line that he put on the carpet, this is kind of what it looked like. Obviously, I thought I had walked a perfect line, but the whole time I'm doing that, the class is laughing. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I feel like I'm walking this straight line, but these goggles they prevented me from completely walking a straight line. I had no idea. Next up is this kid. He puts on his drunk goggles, and he walks like this. So, yeah, everyone was just gasping. They couldn't believe that this guy, even though a lot of them had just tried walking the straight line, they watched this guy walk a perfectly straight line with these drunk goggles on. And we were like, dude, how did you do that? And he was like, practice makes perfect. And we just lost it. We could not stop laughing. Even the teacher was laughing a little bit, but he was like, all right, you need to sit out. Now that the drunk goggles portion of the story is over, I'll take these off. Can you believe they spit over my ears? The kid comes to school one day, and we're in driver's ed, and he doesn't have his homework. That's not really a unusual thing, but the unusual part of it is that he didn't even have his backpack with him that day. And our teacher was like, where's your backpack? Like, why do you not even have your backpack at school today? And he's like, I don't know, I lost it. We thought that was a little bit too easy of an answer. We kind of figured that there was more to that story. So when he came to sit down, we were all working on group projects basically, and he was in my group. When he came and sat down, our group asked him, so dude, what actually happened to your backpack? And he looked at us and he said, oh my God, let me tell you what happened. So we're like, yes, this is gonna be a great story. So he proceeds to tell us that him and his buddy did mushrooms on the bus on their way home from school the day before. He was one of the last stops, so it was a pretty long bus ride for him, and by the time he was at his stop, he really didn't feel anything, so he figured, it just must have been a bad batch. So he's walking home, he's walking down his street, and he said that his back suddenly felt just lighter, like a weight had been lifted off of his shoulders. And so he turned around to see what could possibly be causing this sensation in his shoulders. And what he discovered was that his backpack had sprouted wings, big, glorious wings, and was flying away from him. And we were like, well, what'd you do? And he's just like, I just waved goodbye to it. So he's, as his backpack just floats away. So he ends up getting home, and by this time the shrooms had taken full effect on him. And his house, he imagined to be this monster. And the front door was like this mouth with these terrible sharp teeth, and he knew that if he was going to walk through that front door, he was going to get eaten, and that was going to be it for him. So he just decided, I'm going to try to break in through the basement because it's safer to get into the house that way. So he spent the next couple hours trying to break into his own basement. And then he just enjoyed the rest of the high from home. And so we were like, well, did you ever go look for your backpack? And he's like, yeah. He's like, I went back to the exact same spot that I was at, right by the bus stop, and I couldn't find the backpack anywhere. And so I look at him and I go, well, what do you think happened to it? Do you think someone stole it? Do you think somebody took it? Like, what happened to it? And he looks at me just straight-faced and goes, as far as I knew, it sprouted wings and flew away. That's my story about my wonderful friend who actually had his backpack fly away from him. And I always will remember that story. I will always tell that story. I think that story is just fantastic. I don't know how true it was, but knowing him, it probably was pretty true. Who knows what happened to his backpack? I honestly don't know. It's been many years, and that backpack has probably never been seen again. So if you like that story, I plan to tell a lot more like that. So please subscribe. Also be sure to leave a like on this video because it really helps me out. It lets me know that you're enjoying these stories. It helps me communicate with you. And if you had a friend like that in high school, or maybe you were that friend, comment below. I'd love to hear your funny stories like that. I hope you're having a great day. And if not, I hope this made it a little bit better. I'm Coloring Book Dog, and these are the CBD Chronicles. Here's my video about how my dog is actually a meme. You gotta hear this backstory. It's absolutely crazy. So if you've ever seen this picture in this thumbnail, you need to click this video right now because you need to find out how my dog ended up being a viral meme. And click here for a video that YouTube recommends for you. And as always, be sure to subscribe. I'm really close to 1,000 subscribers right now. I'd really like to make it there by the end of 2019. So please share this video around, share my channel around, and I hope to see you guys all for my next story. Okay. Bitch, I'm getting in that shower.